Atlanta, Georgia.
Video is currently being streamed to YouTube.
What?
Okay, now it's on the air.
Yep. What's going on, Super Truckers? Hey, Michael here with Mike and Christian.
That's
and we want to welcome you to the Super Trucker Podcast. Happens every Thursday, right around or near 2 p.m. We do our best. Sometimes we're a little late, but we're going to talk
fashionably late.
Well, you are, man. You always look better than I do, but I just show up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So we're going to be here, and we're going to talk about rates,
market strategies,
and more rates.
More rates.
More rates. So that's what everybody's on. That's kind of the big deal right now. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's questioning it. What are the rates? And park, don't park, work, don't work, protest, don't protest. So we're going to try to cover some of that stuff today in the Super Trucker Podcast, and we welcome your comments and questions as always. So please feel free to leave a comment below. Also, don't forget to check the live chat if you're watching this after it's already aired. Sometimes we forget to say this, but the rates for this week, update current rates in the market will be posted in the live chat only. So if you're watching this after it's already been recorded, that's where you'll find those rates.
Yeah, and also don't forget to like, share, subscribe, because apparently we just lost one subscriber today.
Yeah, and
Man down.
And
lose one, gain two, right? That's one step
That's
forward.
right. Yeah.
that was probably somebody very important.
It was me.
We
But
want
I
you
promise
back.
I'll resubscribe. I'll come back, guys. I'll come back. So, what are we seeing in the market? What's going on? What are you guys seeing in the market? Please feel free to share some of your success stories or non-success stories, whatever they may be. But as you can see, we're going to be posting the rates in the live comments, and we're going to be talking about what some of our guys did last week and this week, and share some of their success stories. But how about you, Christian? I mean, in your world right now, are you still seeing guys looking, and what's the most important thing they're asking right now?
Well, in the recruiting world, everything's still ticking. It's still alive. It's definitely got a pulse. It hasn't died down or anything. There's companies that are struggling. I'm getting a lot of guys from out of town who are contracted up to companies up in Chicago and whatnot, and they're reading the writing on the wall. There's not enough work, or the company in itself is struggling where they think it's going to go down. And so I am seeing an uptake in guys with fleets, 3 to 5 trucks, and they're starting to look around. So it's out there. Again, it's about due diligence of the harmony between dispatchers and the owner operators, and finding that perfect way to keep those trucks rolling, right? So it's about, like we preach it all the time, the partnership. I think it definitely has to do with that, and to keep that truck rolling. Again, if he's got a fleet and his drivers become too picky, he's got to make sure that they're adaptable. So
yeah. So I mean that's important. I actually I had a phone conversation. I didn't have a chance to talk to you about it yet, but have a phone conversation with a driver for personal reasons who actually had to leave the company. It's been gone now for several months, and was having a conversation with him at lunchtime today. And he's doing some different type of more local work and stuff like that. So I asked him, how has the economic shutdown affected you? What are you experiencing? Just to see, what his situation was like. And he's the same thing for him. He's like, it's just the hardest part of the whole thing is just trying to stay consistent, trying to even find freight to move. And I'm like, I know somebody who has some. So, obviously the door is always open. If you're watching, you know who you are. You're a great guy. We were always sad to see, your situation happen the way it did, but we totally respect it. And again, the door is always open for that opportunity, because we do have the ability to get out there and aggressively look for freight and find it. And so, but again, it's about keeping that mindset. He's like, I need to stay consistent. I need to keep the wheels moving. That's the most important thing.
But the secret is keep the wheels moving, but really mean that and put the work behind that. Because, you're going to have to come out of that comfort zone, right? Because not across the board, everybody's going to have to do a little bit more than they were willing to do pre-situation.
Yeah, because a lot of times for a driver, it's like, yeah, man, I can move if you have a freight that pays enough.
Yeah, if you got $3 a mile, I can definitely move.
I'm moving, and then that's look around. Like, the problem is bigger than you, me, anybody else. So just be realistic.
Yeah. No, and again, you can't say it enough. We have videos about it. The Mike, you just put some videos, really good videos up with some really good content of.
Went viral.
It's already viral. We're already at one view. No, I'm just kidding.
1.1 view.
So no, it's really good information, guys. If you haven't watched it, make sure you go check it out. It's on the channel. But really, it's talking about utilizing all the tools that you can to be effective and save yourself money. And Mike really hits on some points with everything from fuel economy to your fuel savings, how heavy your fuel
gadgets.
is. Yeah, those magic gadgets. Yeah. He doesn't own any of those. But yeah, so this like keeping that mindset of going, hey, look, I'm still going to try to do all that I can do in the middle of this time and to be successful. And I really think that is key and really good points. So if you guys get a chance, make sure you check out that video.
By the way, I have a question. If there is any owner operators here watching us, unless it's all just dispatchers and our people, I have a question. Every time here and there I come across the same problem where there is more to trucking business than just how much per mile it pays. And every time I bring the other values, just saying, hey, look, yeah, the rates are bad. We all know that, even though apparently we're improving a little bit. But there are other ways that you can be more successful. You can save on fuel. Yeah. You can do certain things to save more on fuel and more on fuel. And not just fuel. There is a lot of other things that I think we now going to be doing a lot more videos about. But every time, if we having this, conversation that does not really affect anybody personally, or you're just talking to a driver who is not affected by that conversation, it's accepted fairly well. But if at any point if you start talking to the actual owner operator who could improve on that issue, it becomes very personal and it gets madly rejected. It's like it sounds like it's offensive to them. So I just want to get some feedback, like if anybody has something to say, because I get it. It's easy to discuss topics when it's not affecting you directly, but most of the time is if I start, hey, look, man, I know your check is not too good, but that 3.5 miles per gallon is not contributing to where you're looking to be. And the answer that they get, well, if the rates were $3 a mile, that wouldn't be a problem. And we just hit the wall.
Yeah.
How do you break that wall?
Yeah, and then when were the rates ever $3 a mile constantly and perfectly?
For the short spikes, yeah.
Spikes, but then that's the problem, right? So is it maybe when you run fat and happy, and it kind of goes with the economy and the connection to it, the price of diesel is, the savings on the diesel is not as great as it is now. So in those times, 3 cents, 5 cents off on the gallon, are you conditioning yourself to really look and see where the savings? And so when it's like times like now, your habit is not to even look, but hey man, this is 98 cents off a gallon, $1 off of a gallon. And so you kind of develop the bad habit thinking that there's really not much there to save when there is.
And this is another wall that I constantly hit during those conversations. If I would say, look man, I'm here to help. So how about the discounts right now are extreme, like we really, really nice. But when you start talking about discounts, not always, not all, there are a lot of people that utilizing them.
Yeah, no.
But you will hit a driver here and there who would just shut you down with like, oh, this is BS.
Yeah.
How do you pass that?
Well, one of the things to consider too, and I mean no one's responded yet, but to kind of chime in on the flip side. So let's say you are that guy that has that truck that's 4 miles to the gallon. Do you throw your hands up in there and say I give up? Because at the end of the day, we can't change the truck. So they got it when they, for whatever reasons. I mean, we can all speculate why, how they got it, but they got it, and now they have it. So what do? I guess would be a good question too. Is Not even how do you break through that wall, but what does that guy do now? He's in the transportation industry with a truck that's averaging 4 to 5 miles to the gallon, and can he still find success in that? Yes. Is it going to be harder than the guy that's got 7 miles or 8 miles to the gallon when he's fully loaded? Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be harder for him, but do we think there's still ways that they can find success?
I think if your fuel economy is as bad as like 4 to 5 miles per gallon, you cannot have a success. Like you literally, unless
I just don't want guys to like go and like drive the truck off a cliff.
No,
They watch this now. Like,
no, there is a success.
Yeah.
But the first thing that needs to change is that fuel economy. We had Ronnie on our original Voyagers commercial. White, nice, long nose Peterbilt. Those usually C15 cat engine. Those usually known for fairly poor fuel economy. That guy worked here before he retired for quite a few years. Every time I talk to him, he's like, "Man, I'm driving 55, 56."
Okay, so there comes to play. If you are that guy with that truck, then strategy becomes your best friend.
Yes,
because that is the only way you're going to find success. You can't be heavy
Yes,
footed.
because
exploit fuel savings when you can with
if
the
you
fuel saving
think
program.
Well, the fuel economy, it is what it is. I'm not gonna bend in any way, shape, or form. Everything around me has to adapt to my needs.
Right.
You are doomed. Like
That's a mindset. Yeah.
One of my last trucks was Peterbilt. Also had a C15 cat motor. Man, I've struggled. It was not as bad as Ronnie's truck, but I was running coast to coast with this powerful motor, 63 tops. If I would push to like 70, I'm working for nearly free. I really decreasing my ability to make money. So you choose. You either roll cool or make money.
And you know, kind of to chime on that, I have gotten a few calls of guys that have like 95s, 96s, and all that. And not saying it's a bad truck. It depends who's doing the maintenance and the upkeep, and it could possibly be in better condition than a 2009, 2000.
Yeah, maybe we participate in shows.
Yeah, well, now that was the thing, right? So they bought it to run paper because they're exempt, and they hold that flag. But the problem is when the market tightens up, you just, I mean, I wonder what they were thinking when they bought it. I don't think they rationalized that their opportunities to go lease onto different places would get smaller. They just thought, like, I made a smart move. And one of the guys was telling me, I don't think this was such a great idea because I'm starting to hear a lot of people saying no instead of yes.
Because the issue is, in my opinion, is bigger than that. It may start with a carrier to begin with, but then it extends all the way to the broker, all the way to the shipper, all the way to the receiver, because there are a couple of problems. First of all, statistically, that truck has a bigger chance of failure. Old equipment fails, even though some of those trucks are really good. But statistics are statistics.
So right,
And then another problem that is a real problem is the liabilities. Because, yeah, I get it, it's exempt. But now the liabilities extends all the way. Let's say something happens. Now that question, did you have to onboard this truck?
Negligent hiring.
Negligence. Even as far as the broker or shipper, that's negligence, because we can get them for loading on safe truck.
All right, man.
And that's just too much to lose. Insurance wouldn't insure the truck like that sometimes.
That's the biggest one that I always see. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because once a carrier kind of puts the guidelines of what you're willing to onboard, your policy is basically built around that, if I'm not mistaken. And then all of a sudden you start to do the opposite of what you said. I mean, you have a hard awakening.
Because, for example, for us, if you got this old truck and you keep it in good shape, one of the main reasons for ELDs, because you can run legally with paper logs, that's not a problem. liabilities. We are just way out there.
So, well, cool thing is kind of the reason for talking. I know we got on older trucks, but originally we were talking about trucks just as a general, because we got newer trucks sometimes that only get 5 miles to the gallon. They look beautiful. They, like you said, are they show trucks? Are they economically sound? That's a good question. I would ask, do you buy a Lamborghini to deliver pizza? No, you don't, because it's not practical. But let's just get past that. You're the guy, and you already have that truck. How do you find success? Well, I think we need to talk about how that can translate into the situation right now. Because how does a driver with a truck facing these so-called dollar a mile rates, 80 cents a mile rates that you keep hearing preached on YouTube, how does he find success? The same way that guy finds success, by exploiting every opportunity, every savings, running strategically and smart and efficient. And that's how that guy with the 5 miles a gallon, nothing he can do about it. It's like he can get out from underneath that truck right away just because he's like, oh crap, the Super Trucker podcast said I can't be successful now. I got to sell my truck. You can't. You're in it. If you can, do it when you can. But he's still got to find success, right?
Yeah.
So the guys that are facing this market right now that are saying, oh my God, I can't make money right now because their freight's $1 a mile. And look, I'm watching the rates come up. I've been staring at them as they go. I see right now we got Bedford Park, only 196 miles. Of course, it's going to be a higher rate. We're at 204. We've got 193, 164, 201, 221. But here we go. We dropped down to a 115 right here. So we have drivers operating right now. Colin Christian, and I want to share this story right here. Colin Christian comes in, a guy, good head on his shoulders, comes in and says, hey man, I'm here to do whatever it takes. He's got that never give up attitude. He's like, I'm ready to kick the door down. But I've heard about it being a little tight out there, and like, is this possible? You could definitely tell that he had some questions and maybe even some slight fears if this was even going to be doable.
Yeah.
He runs his week, my man, and I'm talking about he's first 10 weeks he's got plate program, escrow, all this stuff coming out. His fuel, I look at his fuel savings, and right away I can tell a guy, how much thought process and effectiveness that they're putting in their business if they're taking advantage of a program that's right in front of them. There's no sense in a guy going and not saving something, and look at what he saved.
Holy crap.
Look at what he saved right here. This guy's fueling for like $1.30 right now, $1.40. He saved on his first fuel up $108, $108 again, $92, $103, $109.
Almost $500, easy.
That's $500 in his pocket.
Oh, yeah.
That goes towards his net, right?
So that would make that check right there under 2,000.
Yes, it would.
So that's a main difference.
Yeah.
Like,
this takes you from an 1,800 guy to this guy finished this week out with his extra deductions for everything else at 2,300. So this check would have been 26. So
he still have plate payment.
Plate
he
payments,
has
escrow.
What's that's
that's
trailer
just
maintenance.
trailer
Got
maintenance,
it.
$50. Yeah.
So with all that,
He could have
he's
been
at
at
that.
20, yeah.
And right now you take the different guy who says fuel discounts are fake news.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you take a guy that started at the same exact time as this guy and maybe not as successful because of this right here.
Right. You just have to adapt.
Nothing different.
Just adapt to what's available to you. And again, so this guy in particular was a company driver, and he wanted
more of the backstory.
Wanted a little bit more control of his situation. So there you go. But again, it's perception, because there's some guys out there that are thinking of, maybe I should park my truck and become a company driver. You tell me what company driver's bringing in 23.
Yeah, and then once this is taken care of, 26 on that right there. And this market, this is last week. This is not old news. This is not the beginning of April. These loads were ran May 4th, May 5th, May 7th, okay? This was last week's rates. This was last week run with a brand new guy, fresh on the fleet. Came in, and you know what's awesome is the guy came in with that never give up attitude. He said, I'm willing to do what it takes, Michael, if you can make sure you get it done. And kudos to him and his dispatcher. Shout out, Sonny. You did a great job. And they together, because we always say it's a partnership, it's a team. Together, they got it done. So kudos, guys. That's really good. We have other ones where we have guys that are coming in and they're not letting the situation stop them. Perfect examples right here. The 2,000 mark club, you know what I mean? You got one right here with, I don't even really want to, this man, I had to give this man a high five. Yeah, that's killer, bro. In this market right here.
And look at this, man.
Yeah, he's set for a couple weeks, so he had his cargo deductions. So he was taking care of some personal business. Comes back out, man, in the middle of this. May 4th, May 7th. Okay, so he did a straight through right here, a little short run, 347. Again, that's key. We mentioned that in one of our videos where a guy has an opportunity, two guys pick up the same exact load. One goes straight through, and because he went straight through, that particular story, the guy ended his week with a 3,400 net where the other guy was below 2. So you just don't know what opportunities you're missing when you decide to sit and kind of idle and not be aggressive. Now's the time to get aggressive.
Matt, and if I may,
Sure,
sorry,
absolutely.
check this out, guys. Well, I know you guys can't see it, but here's a prime example right here. So he fuels twice.
Yep.
Wildwood, Florida, he had a savings of $113. And then up in Georgia, he had a savings of $13. That's a major difference.
And take a look at his total miles.
His
too.
situation, I get it. Maybe he had to stop because of hours of service. Who knows? But that just can show you like the opportunity that's left on the table. So even at that nice settlement bringing home, it could have been a little bit better. So there's always opportunity.
Yeah, and his total miles on that week was 2,491 loaded miles, and brought in a net of $3,873 in the middle of the economic shutdown, aka the you know what. So that's awesome job.
Situation.
Shout out to
You must know somebody.
Can't say that name. But hey, again, shout out to Ingrid. That's an awesome job. And we keep them going. And that's I just pulled some from each dispatcher because it was like I wanted to share some success stories. Here's another one. Again, it's not like the rate per miles or something amazing. This is getting done with the rate per miles that you're looking at right now. What you're seeing is what we're doing this with. So these what are we looking at? $1.14, $2.14, $1.40, $1.11, $1.80, $1.83. Got to give a huge shout out real quick on that $1.83. Don't mean to talk really fast, but I get excited. That $1.83 today, a load from Brooksville, Florida, up to New Hampshire, 1,300 and what are we at? 1,315 miles. $2,400. It is not produce. It is fence. It's just fencing. It's an easy on, easy off. Very familiar with the company. $1.83 out of Florida. Man.
Mic drop.
Not that. Don't drop me. Just the mic. So, a great job, guys. Really proud of the drivers and the dispatchers. They're really coming together. It's awesome to see that happening because I feel like iron sharpens iron. Your skills are getting honed as a driver. You are now looking for savings that you might not have been looking at before because you're like, not that big of a deal. Rates are up. I'm still making my money. I really believe that if the drivers and the dispatchers can keep the mindset that they have right now where they're looking for every penny to save, when this turns, man, we're going to have some extremely successful people in this company. I really truly believe that. And hopefully wherever you're at, you're doing the same exact thing. Don't stop, man. Don't stop pinching those pennies when it changes. Don't start going, like Mike said, from 55 and 63 and all the way back up to 70 just because rates are what they are. Keep that savings going. Make sure you're exploiting every opportunity to get as much money and as much savings in your pocket because that's money out the thing. But let me finish with this one and then you guys can take back over. Another driver with a completely different dispatcher. Finished with $25.61 on his miles. He had good fuel savings again. $100, $153, $86, $80, and then here's one for $7.74. Is just on his it was like a top off. So again, there you go. But this guy in this market last week, here we go. It's at $22.96.40. So a $2,300 settlement after all expenses, after all deductions. In this economic shutdown, in this crisis, in this oh my goodness moment where I'm running for $1.14 or $1.20 a mile and they're getting it done. So, hey, kudos to all you guys who are staying focused. I got plenty more I could choose from. There's plenty in the $2,000 club this week, so keep working hard. And if you're not there, don't give up. Reach out to your dispatcher. If you're not with this company, reach out to your dispatcher and say, hey, I want to be part of that $2,000 club. What do I got to do? And really
get off the couch.
Well, their dispatcher could be on the couch too, but I think that has a lot to do with it. You can't get passive. We gotta stay. We gotta stay hungry. Hungry.
And I agree because I would say no offense to nobody, but any clown can be a dispatcher. But this shutdown is gonna develop a lot of good dispatchers because it's not easy, and like if you can do it during this, you're gonna be pretty badass.
Yeah, I
when
mean,
it's over.
just look at the last 5 guys we've onboarded in the last month, I mean, guys have purchased their own truck. So when they go to tell their story, they bought a truck and what some people might call the worst of it.
You
right?
know what's the best thing about it? The guy who just bought a truck, he is not comparing anything to 2018.
No.
Yeah.
And the guy who was in business as an owner operator in 2018, to him right now it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
When for a guy who just now started experiencing things,
$2,300. This is good money
it's
right now.
actually
He's
pretty
like,
good.
He's
Yeah.
like, heck yeah, 1,200 as a company, 23 as an owner operator after all expenses. Man, this was a good decision. Think of how successful that guy's going to be
When it's better. Yeah.
when it's better, man. That's what I'm trying to say. This has really honed the skills of the drivers that are out there working. It's taught them to be a little bit. I'm watching our fuel savings now compared to what it was a month and a half ago. You know, don't get me wrong. We have plenty of guys on the fleet that were actually, absolutely taking advantage of the fuel savings. But now, more than ever, it's like every guy is making sure he's looking at the app saying, which one where should I go? What's my best route here? What's the best savings here? Why not, man? I mean, like that, like we just said, that's $1,500 or $500 in your pocket, extra to your settlement, maybe even more with some guys. So $500-$600 a week in savings and fuel, that's awesome. And I forgot to give a shout out to Ralph. That was his driver on the last one. So that was just 3.
Who booked that amazing load out of Florida?
That would be Ingrid. Ingrid did that one.
Nice job, Ingrid.
She got a fist bump and a high five on that one. That was pretty awesome, man. So
why don't you show Ralph how you did that?
Uh-oh, somebody's stirring the pot. I already got him going, but that's good. We have fun. We try to encourage everybody here because I understand it's stressful. I know it's hard for the drivers. It's hard for the company people. It's hard for the dispatchers. So anything you can do to lighten the mood, get a little fun going out there, that's always a beautiful moment. And I tell you again, I'm really proud of the way the team's grown over the last month and a half. I think this is, although it's been a terrible event, I think that it's going to help us all be better, drivers and dispatchers, and as a whole, to really become more successful. And that's everybody's goal.
Yeah, this is how you learn.
Yeah,
Tough times.
absolutely. Yep. Even as in general, as the whole economy, man, there's going to be, somebody's going to think of something. There's going to be millionaires born from this darkness, if you will, right?
The phoenix rises out of the ashes. So, I mean, that's...
Hey, look.
That was epic, baby.
Somebody's crisis is every man's, fresh start.
Yeah.
Oh, there's going somebody's trash is another man's treasure. I was like, wait, where are you going with this? He's like, that's how we found you, Mike. That other company threw you out. You're like, oh, okay, here we go. So, again, as you've heard us say numerous times, we used a couple examples, fuel economy all the way through mindset. At the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a positive mindset. And that's everything in life, man. You ever try to build something or do a project at home that you don't want to do? What are you doing half the time?
Not doing it,
complaining about it the whole time. You know what I mean?
Planning how I'm gonna do it,
or get out of doing it.
I'm
right?
stuck in planning mode.
Yeah. But you ever see a project that you participate in where you were half-hearted into it? It shows. Just like your business. So if you're half-hearted about these rates and you're like, I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do. Who cares? It's only $1.20 or $1.30. I did run some analysis on a guy. I didn't make the video. He ran a constant average of $1.22, and his settlement was $2,500 net after all expenses, and his fuel savings was amazing. His attitude was head down and just go. You know what I mean? And that's why he found success. So I was thinking about doing a video about it, just saying, hey, look what you can do with $1.22. You know what I mean? And I guarantee you there's somebody that'll come across this video who's going to be sitting on the couch because their truck's parked out front, and they're going to go, I'm not running for $1.22. And then if their wife actually hears this video that they could have made $2,500, divorces are going to happen because of Super Trucker Podcast.
And you know what, man? Even talking about that, like, it's so weird, right? Like, perception, because I'm telling you, in the recruiting world, I've took calls where guys run for flat rates, all in $1.18 a mile, all year round. That's it. And so,
you know what? Sometimes
crazy.
I think it's not everyone is able to be in this, business mindset. because what's most important thing in business that you have to learn to be successful? It's not like, oh, how to make money. Yeah. No, you need to learn how to lose. How to lose and be all right about it.
It's hard to get back up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
it is.
most of
It
people,
is.
when to go out of business, and again, the owner operator it's a business. So the guy in that truck is a businessman. So now he's making bad decisions, and that's it. He's out of business.
Well, and again, this is not a gripe session in no way, shape, or form. I hope we're encouraging people because people have self-worth. And the question can come up, am I not worth more than $1.18 a mile? My efforts are not worth it. At the end of the day, I would say yes, absolutely. You're worth way more than that. But
Look, man, here's
what, you know what I'm saying?
here's
Like,
the reality.
you gotta kind of dissect it and say,
A years back, sitting I'm in the truck,
okay,
like the owner operator, just like everybody else, struggling, crying about the rates, bitching and moaning.
how much were they then?
It was crap. And the biggest challenge that did not allow me to succeed was my own head, because that feeling that I'm being taken advantage of
Yes, that's what I'm getting at.
is
Yeah,
so overwhelming that you just want to cut it off and just go home, and at the end of the day you're broke.
yeah.
But at some point, after years of struggling with that specific issue, it doesn't matter, the rates are here, there, we're always moving around. After years, the only thing that really changed, I decided not to worry about it anymore. I decided worry less about how to get those $2 a mile, and worry more about how to get that paycheck that they need to get. And that's it. You allow this one crappy bag haul to ruin your whole week.
Yeah.
That's not the way to do
Well,
business.
it's like you said. You feel like you're being punished.
Yeah.
You feel like you are being punished, and then on the next hand, you watch the news and they're like, "Truckers, you're our heroes. Drivers, thank you so much." And you're just like, that's all they're doing to me. They're just crapping on me right now. So I get it. I mean, I can totally see the picture. The reason we talk the way we do, the reason why we share the stories that we share, is saying like, look, man, sometimes wipe it off, get cleaned up, and just do you. That's all that matters, because it don't matter how great somebody says you are or doesn't say you are, pat on the back, not on the pat of the back. At the end of the day, you're doing this to make money. So don't lose sight of that. You're doing this to be successful. And as Mike said, one of the hardest things as a business owner is to take your pride, because that's really what it comes down to, is like, hey man, I'm worth more than this, so you can do what you fools can do what you're going to do, but I'm going to park, or I'm going to picket, whatever the case may be. I get it. If that's somebody's position and that's their side of things, then they go ahead and do what they got to do. You do you, but don't get lost in the sauce. Remember that one?
There you go.
Don't get lost in the sauce, man. I don't care what he's doing on my left. I don't care what he's doing on my right, because I'm just going to be me, and I'm going to do what's best for me and my family. That's the attitude you have to have, and I think that helps you get past dropping that man,
Because it's never personal. At some point, you're on the other side of that fence. Whether you're going to, like, I don't know, let's say, a restaurant that has a $1 menu. You think somebody opened up that place to, brick and mortar to sell $1 menu?
Yeah, we're
No.
probably not, we're for
No.
sure not making money from that.
Yeah, but
Well, it depends on if I'm going there.
But we naturally, in anything we do, we look for a bargain.
Yeah.
Anybody, that's welcome. Dollar stores that are out there. It's just natural. I think they're always going to negotiate. So when we're just on this side of the fence, where someone,
And if it switched right now, there's not a guy watching, there's not a driver out there in the world that would say, "Oh, Mr. Broker, Mr. Customer, hold on just a second. That's too much money. Take some back. Take some back." Never. Okay? Because when it switches, us and they are going to be like, there's nothing but powder where there used to be a broker. I mean, we're gonna do the exact same thing. That's how this world works. When it's my turn, it's my turn. Right now, it's not my turn. So, but I gotta find success when it's my turn, and I gotta find success when it's their turn, and that is what makes a successful person. So,
Yeah, because every time if you decide to park a truck when it's going a little south of the good things, you're always starting from scratch, always.
Yeah.
Instead of just keep on pushing and pushing and pushing, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, just keep on pushing and focus on the goals.
Yeah, and business mindset. Because I mean, I can't probably think of one, but how many people right now, restaurants, bars, were forced
Mm-hmm.
to close?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to know how many voluntarily said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna shut this down till it's over."
No, man.
So how can we, having an option,
well,
do
the sad thing
self-inflicted pain on that? You know?
Yeah, and here we are with an opportunity to work. One of the restaurants right down here, where independent restaurant, not like a franchise restaurant. It's a one restaurant, one owner, very nice guy. Always been a nice family environment. Here it is now, 2 weeks into them letting us open up, and he's not. So you know what that means. I mean, he's not closed because he wants to be anymore. He's closed now because he could be out of business, and that's scary and that's sad. And and he was trying everything. This is a guy who actually rented a truck to take food to feed the seniors during the issue, and now look what kind of handshake he's gotten out of it. You know what I mean? He's got the short end of the stick for sure, and I hate to see that door close. I as soon as I found out I could go back there and eat, I wanted to go support local businesses, with what I do best, and because I am a big support for this community around here, and I couldn't. You know what I mean? The door was locked with a sign on it. It said temporarily closed, and it said that now.
Hopefully it's going to reopen.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully
PPP.
Man,
so that's fair.
Yeah, right.
That's another show.
Yeah, don't get going on that. So yeah, that's it, man. You just gotta stay. You gotta stay focused. You gotta keep your goal in front of you, and it's like a horse. They put blinders on the horses. You know what I'm talking about? The side blinders, so the horse doesn't get distracted. It goes exactly where it needs to go. That's just how you need to be. Get your blinders on so you don't see what's to your left and what's to your right. When you are at the truck stop, don't worry about what everybody's talking. Again, I can't tell you how many times on the phone with a guy and his buddy does this and that. His buddy's hauling. Somebody said something today. A buddy hauled a load 119 miles out of Atlanta for $900. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. If he did, hey, awesome, kudos. What are you worried about what other people are doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, because it's all situational.
Same guy saying all this stuff is the guy that picks up on Tuesday and home on Friday.
And at the same time, it's all situational. $1.85 out of Florida. Is that every day?
No.
But it happened.
Yeah, but look, now potentially some guy takes a load like this. He's not even from Florida. A year later, if that was the only time he went to Florida, he is all over the truck stops, like $1.85 out of Florida all the time.
On board? Man, I get $1.85 every time I'm in Florida.
Because you went once.
Yeah.
Don't tell my secrets. So, anything else, my man?
That's everything in my world.
Yeah.
Mike? Hey, Super Truckers. Hey, we thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Again, as this channel grows, it gives us more opportunity to go live in other places and other events. So make sure you just keep sharing these videos. We appreciate it. Thanks for your support. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments or hit us up. If not, stay safe.
Keep on trucking.
And have a great day, Super Truckers.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah.
Let's go to 1 billion subscribers.
Turn me a
And then
freaking
we can go live from the Bahamas.
$1 billion.
All right, guys, take care.